How many times have you raised a glass and toasted to happiness, love, or a special achievement without ever questioning what was really behind that gesture? Alcohol, a constant presence in parties, dinners, meetings, and even moments of introspection, is a substance that carries an immense weight not only in physical health but also in emotional, social, and even spiritual. Despite its ubiquity in our lives, few people stop to reflect on the impact it can have on body and mind. Alcohol often appears as a symbol of celebration, connection, and even sophistication. A glass of wine at a romantic dinner, a cold beer after a hard day, or a colorful drink at a lively party blends so well into our daily lives that it seems harmless. However, society rarely highlights that this habit, when poorly dosed, can open doors to serious problems. What many people don't realize is that alcohol has a direct effect on the brain, influencing how we think, feel, and act. First, it can offer a temporary relief from stress and anxiety by providing that loosening the ties feeling. But as consumption increases, the impacts begin to accumulate, and not always in a visible way. Alcohol is metabolized mainly in the liver, where it turns into toxic substances such as acetaldehyde. This compound is responsible for many of the negative effects of alcohol, from hangovers to more severe cell damage. In the brain, it reduces the activity of neurotransmitters that maintain the balance of the nervous system. Initially, this creates a feeling of relaxation. In the long run, however, it can impair cognitive functions such as memory, attention, and learning, and increase the risk of depression and anxiety. In the liver, frequent consumption can lead to hepatic steatosis, accumulation of fat, alcoholic hepatitis, and, in extreme cases, cirrhosis, an irreversible condition. The heart also feels the impacts, with alcohol raising blood pressure, causing arrhythmias, and increasing the risk of heart failure. In the digestive system, it irritates the lining of the stomach, which can cause gastritis, ulcers, and increase the risk of esophageal and stomach cancer. In addition, alcohol is extremely caloric and nutrient deficient, contributing to weight gain and making it difficult to maintain a balanced diet. In addition to physical harm, alcohol also has a significant impact on emotions and relationships. How many times has excessive alcohol consumption led to unnecessary arguments, impulsive decisions, or regrets the next day? It can create a false sense of confidence and at the same time destroy the ability to deal with problems in a healthy way. We cannot forget the silent impact on the work environment and studies. Alcohol-fueled socialization can compromise performance, hinder decision-making, and hinder professional growth. You may be thinking, but I'm not a big drinker, just socially consuming. Moderate consumption is widely accepted and, in some studies, even associated with certain benefits such as improved cardiovascular health, in the case of red wine, for example. However, it is important to remember that these potential benefits do not justify indiscriminate use. Alcohol, even in small amounts, is still a psychoactive and toxic substance, whose impact varies from person to person. Rethinking alcohol consumption does not mean eliminating it completely from life unless you choose to. It is about consciousness. Setting clear boundaries is essential. Set the amount and frequency you consider healthy for yourself. Replace the routine by trying alternatives such as teas, exercises, or meditation instead of a drink. Practice self-observation and ask yourself why you are drinking. Is it to celebrate or to escape something? Seek also to create real connections, socializing in ways that do not depend on alcohol as a social crutch. The next time you raise your glass, remember that true happiness goes far beyond what is in it. Awareness of the impact of alcohol can transform not only your health but also your outlook on life, helping you make choices that truly reflect who you are and what you want. After all, the real celebration is to take care of yourself and live fully each moment. For years, alcohol was like a constant companion in my routine. Happy hours after work, weekends watered by drinks, celebrations that seemed incomplete without a toast. He was always there, turning banal moments into something that seemed more fun, lighter. First, it was easy to justify. A drink to relax after a stressful day. Another to socialize and feel part of the group. But over time, I realized that there was a high price being charged for this fun. The hangovers began to accumulate. It was not just those bad mornings with headache and nausea, but a tiredness that seemed to have no end. It was as if my body was constantly asking for help, begging for a break that I did not know how to grant. Physical fatigue was only part of the problem. Mental exhaustion was even more difficult to ignore. Waking up and dealing with reality became increasingly difficult, as if alcohol was stealing not only my energy but also my clarity. And then came the question of belonging. Alcohol made me feel part of something bigger, as if, by holding a glass, I automatically fit into any group. He was like a key that unlocked easy conversations, loose laughter, and the illusion of connection. But deep down I knew it was fake. When the effect passed, the emptiness remained. Connections were not as deep as they seemed, and I often felt more alone than ever. The false sense of belonging was not enough to fill the emptiness I tried to avoid. That's when I started to question it. Why did I drink? Was it really for the taste, for the fun, or was there something else? I began to realize that alcohol was not solving anything. It was just masking problems that I did not want to face. That social anxiety that disappeared after the first drink? She came back even stronger the next day. The stress that seemed to dissipate with a glass of wine? He was just asleep, ready to explode at the slightest provocation. When I decided to change, it was like trying to rewrite a deeply ingrained habit. It wasn't easy. The first social encounters without a drink in hand were strange. I felt out of place, as if all eyes were on me, judging my decision. But over time I realized that most people didn't care, and the ones who did were not the companies I wanted to keep. I started to rediscover what it is like to be present in a moment, without relying on a chemical push. The benefits were emerging one by one. Chronic tiredness gave way to a renewed energy. My mornings had become lighter, without the weight of hangover or guilt. My mind, before clouded and anxious, became clearer. But above all, I began to feel more true. Connections I've made since then are real, based on who I really am, not who I was trying to be with the help of alcohol. Today, I look back and see that alcohol was never the solution. It was a distraction, a way to avoid facing my own challenges. Facing life in the face may be daunting, but the authenticity and peace I have found on this path is priceless. The real fun, I realized, is in living fully, and that does not depend on any glass. What seems to be just a harmless drink, a discrete detail in a glass of wine or a beer, carries deep impacts that go far beyond momentary pleasure. Alcohol is not just a recreational substance. It triggers a series of chemical reactions in the body that can leave invisible but lasting scars. One of the main victims of its consumption is something that few people imagine: mitochondria, known as cell batteries. These microscopic structures, responsible for generating the energy needed for each function of our body, are directly poisoned by alcohol. When we ingest alcohol, it is metabolized mainly in the liver. During this process, the substance turns into acetaldehyde, a highly toxic compound. This agent not only damages the liver cells but also compromises mitochondria in all parts of the body. Acetaldehyde interferes with the mitochondria's ability to produce energy, causing metabolic dysfunctions that affect muscle functioning and brain activity. It is as if each cell was forced to operate in energy-saving mode, damaging health at levels that can take a long time to reverse. The liver, which is the main processing station for alcohol, suffers cumulative damage over time. Initially, fat accumulation may occur, known as hepatic steatosis, a generally silent condition. With continued and excessive consumption, the liver can develop into a chronic inflammation, alcoholic hepatitis, and in more severe cases, cirrhosis, an irreversible condition. These processes compromise not only liver function but also the overall balance of the body, since the liver plays a crucial role in detoxification of the organism and metabolism of essential nutrients. But the effects of alcohol are not limited to the liver. In the brain, it acts as a depressor of the central nervous system, causing initially that feeling of relaxation and euphoria. However, over time, frequent consumption can damage brain cells, reduce neuroplasticity, and compromise areas responsible for memory, learning, and emotional control. Regeneration of the brain after episodes of excessive alcohol consumption can take months, depending on intensity and frequency. In more severe cases, the cumulative impact can lead to conditions such as alcoholic dementia, irreversibly impairing cognitive capacity. Now imagine that the body, after a prolonged period of excessive consumption, needs up to 1 year to fully recover. This time is necessary for organs such as the liver, brain, and even mitochondria to reverse some of the damage suffered. This regeneration process depends on factors such as age, general health status, and, of course, the cessation of alcohol consumption. Even so, not all damage can be reversed, especially if the consumption has been chronic. It is important to remember that the impact of alcohol varies from person to person. While some may notice warning signs quickly, others may take years to feel the negative effects tangibly. However, what is common to all is that alcohol, no matter how small the amount, represents a chemical challenge for the body. It requires the organs to work harder to neutralize its effects and repair the damage. Rethinking alcohol consumption does not mean eliminating any and all moments of celebration, but rather adopting a conscious look at what we put in our body. Each drink may seem harmless, but it carries a cost that often only reveals itself in the long run. Choosing to moderate or even replace alcohol on certain occasions is a direct investment in your health, the longevity of your cells, and the quality of life as a whole. Through all, the true celebration is to live fully with a body and mind in balance. We are constantly bombarded with the idea that alcohol is an essential part of socialization. From parties and celebrations to casual dinners and happy hours, the act of toasting with a drink in hand has become a symbol of connection, friendship, and even success. The image of a glass of wine or beer in the hands of smiling people has become so common that we often do not even realize that this gesture is not the only way to relate to others. Alcohol was put as the protagonist of moments that, in reality, could be lived in much more authentic and meaningful ways. But what if this was not true? And if the real connection was in something other than drinking? Society often conditions us to believe that, in order to be part of a group or to be up to an occasion, it is necessary to have something alcoholic in hand. In social gatherings, we are led to follow the current, either by direct pressure or by the feeling that everyone is doing this. But what happens when we stop to reflect on it? When we realize that the quality of our interactions does not depend on an external substance, but rather on our genuine presence and the conversations we can have without any kind of facilitator? Reassessing who is next to us and the environments we frequent can be an essential step in changing this habit. We are often in social circles where alcohol is the starting point for any conversation, and this can be a way to distance ourselves from what really matters: genuine connection. Thinking about the environments in which we are inserted is also an invitation to question the nature of these encounters. Are social gatherings that promote alcohol really the most significant for our mental and emotional health? Or are we getting stuck in environments where drinking becomes an excuse to avoid deeper conversations, or even a mechanism to deal with discomfort or anxiety? The simple act of stopping and reflecting on this can bring up a new perspective. There are many places and ways to socialize that don't revolve around alcohol. Activities like walking in the park, playing sports, attending workshops, having more intimate conversations over coffee, or even exploring new hobbies can be much healthier and enriching ways of connecting with others. Instead of waiting for the drink to relieve tension or create a sense of belonging, we can learn to build those feelings from experiences that involve mindfulness, empathy, and authentic interest in the people around us. A change in habits can also imply a change in perception about who are the people who are really on our side. In many cases, the pressure to drink and socialize in certain environments can be a reflection of superficial dynamics or a constant search for validation through external gestures. True friendship and connection are based on the ability to understand, support, and grow together. And that's exactly what should be valued: the time shared and experiences lived, not the glass we hold or the drink we choose. When we reassess these aspects, we can see that socializing does not need to be linked to alcohol consumption. The real change begins within us when we begin to prioritize our physical and mental health and to seek more authentic and constructive interactions. At the same time, it is important to recognize that not everyone around us is ready or willing to make this transition. Some may resist or even judge our decision to abandon alcohol as a form of socialization. However, by maintaining our integrity and commitment to change, we can create new opportunities for connection that are healthier and aligned with our true selves. Reassessing the environments we attend also allows us to reconfigure our social circle. We can seek spaces and people that encourage us to be more than just alcoholic versions of ourselves, people who value the human being in its essence with all its complexities and beauties. It is a process that requires courage but also opens doors to a new way of living life, where the real celebration of friendship and belonging happens in the simplicity of a good chat, genuine moments, and shared laughter, without the need for a glass of drink to validate them. By changing our way of seeing socialization, we can discover that the best moments in life do not need to be filled with alcohol to be truly special. Mark Manson, known for his writings on personal development, shared a revealing experience in one of his articles. Even a simple glass of wine, which for many might be just a small indulgence, left him exhausted for days. He described how, after consumption, he felt mentally tired, with a fog that hindered his focus, and the next day the body still carried a feeling of fatigue, as if the tiredness had accumulated in some way. The situation only changed when he decided to stop drinking. It was then that he experienced a transformation that many may find hard to believe: restful sleep, mental clarity, and incomparable energy. Something as simple as stopping a substance that society often associates with moments of pleasure has made an impressive difference in your physical and mental health. Manson's report is not an isolated case. It is a reflection of a reality increasingly recognized by science. The impact of alcohol on the body goes far beyond what can be perceived at the time of consumption. Alcohol is a depressant substance of the central nervous system, which means that it directly affects the individual's sleep quality, cognitive function, and energy level. Even though at first it seems to help relax, in the short and medium term it interferes with the body's natural processes such as cell regeneration and maintaining the brain's chemical balance. When you stop drinking, many people experience a sense of revitalization, as if their body finally has room to heal and regenerate. Studies on the impact of alcohol on physical and mental health have shown that reducing or eliminating alcohol consumption can transform health in profound and lasting ways. As regards sleep, alcohol can be responsible for disrupting the circadian cycle, interrupting the more restorative phases of rest. Although it helps to induce sleep initially, the quality of that sleep is impaired. The body does not reach the deeper and restorative phases, such as REM sleep, where muscle recovery and memory consolidation occur. When people stop drinking, many report an immediate improvement in sleep quality, feeling more rested and with more energy when they wake up. In addition, the impact of alcohol on mental clarity is significant. The feeling of mental fog, common in those who consume regularly, is a result of the toxic effect of alcohol on the brain. Alcohol impairs communication between neurons and affects areas of the brain responsible for decision-making, memory, and even the ability to solve complex problems. Over time, excessive consumption can lead to permanent cognitive decline. When alcohol intake is reduced or stopped, the mind begins to recover, concentration improves, and the ability to maintain focus for longer periods becomes more evident. Energy is also one of the aspects that most surprise those who decide to stop drinking. People often do not realize that constant tiredness is not a consequence of lifestyle, but of alcohol itself. It overloads the liver, interferes with metabolism, and impairs the absorption of essential nutrients. When alcohol is eliminated from the body, the system begins to work more efficiently. The feeling of constant fatigue disappears and people start to feel more willing, with more energy for performing everyday tasks and even for physical activities that previously seemed challenging. In addition to the immediate benefits, reducing alcohol has long-term impacts. The liver, for example, begins to regenerate, reducing the risk of liver diseases such as cirrhosis. Blood pressure tends to stabilize, and the risk of heart disease decreases. The immune system also strengthens, making the body more resistant to infections and diseases. Blood sugar is balanced, which can be especially beneficial for those trying to control weight or prevent type 2 diabetes. These effects are not only noticeable on the physical level, but also on the psychological and emotional. Reducing alcohol can lower levels of anxiety and depression, since alcohol, although initially sedative, is a powerful depressant of the nervous system. Can contribute to feelings of insecurity, guilt, or sadness, especially when consumed in excess. By eliminating alcohol, many people begin to experience greater emotional stability and a greater ability to cope with the challenges of everyday life. Mark Manson's account illustrates a simple but often ignored truth. Alcohol, though widely accepted and even celebrated in many cultures, has profound negative effects that we often only notice when we decide to stop it. The good news is that when you stop drinking, your body and mind have an impressive ability to recover. Health is transformed in ways that go beyond what many imagine. It is as if, by removing a block from the path, the body has the freedom to function at its full potential. For many, the simple act of reducing alcohol consumption may be the first step to a healthier, clearer, and more energetic life. Alcohol, although widely consumed and socially accepted, does not offer any real nutritional value to the human body. Instead, it is treated as a toxin by the body. When we ingest alcohol, the body immediately recognizes it as a potentially harmful substance, which makes its processing and elimination a priority. This detoxification action occupies most of the body's energy, and all vital functions, including the metabolism of essential nutrients, end up being left in the background. As a result, a number of negative impacts can arise over time, affecting our health in subtle but profound ways. When alcohol enters the body, it is quickly absorbed and processed by the liver. This organ, which normally performs several vital functions such as the storage of nutrients and the filtration of harmful substances, is almost exclusively dedicated to the breaking down of alcohol. The liver converts the ethanol in the drink into acetaldehyde, a highly toxic substance that can cause damage to the body if not efficiently eliminated. To deal with this toxin, the body needs to use a large number of enzymes and metabolic resources, leaving the functions related to processing other nutrients such as proteins, carbohydrates, and fats with a reduced capacity. This distraction from the body can have serious long-term consequences. One of the first consequences of this process is a deficiency of essential vitamins and minerals. Alcohol interferes with the absorption of important nutrients such as B vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin D, and minerals like magnesium and zinc. These deficiencies can manifest themselves in many ways, including excessive tiredness, muscle weakness, skin problems, difficulty concentrating, and even depression. In addition, alcohol also impairs the bowel's ability to properly absorb nutrients from food, which further aggravates the situation. When the body cannot get the nutrients needed for proper functioning, the result is a constant feeling of fatigue, low energy, and slower recovery after exercise or other efforts. Another negative impact of alcohol consumption is weight gain. Many people do not realize that alcohol is one of the main sources of empty calories, i.e., calories that offer no real nutritional value. A shot of alcohol may have a high calorie value, but it does not contribute to the protein, fiber, vitamins, or minerals that are essential for the body. In addition, alcohol can disrupt the metabolism, interfering with how the body burns calories. When the body is busy processing alcohol, it cannot efficiently metabolize fat and other nutrients. As a result, alcohol can contribute directly to fat accumulation, especially in the abdominal region, an area where overweight is particularly harmful to cardiovascular health. In addition, alcohol has a direct impact on appetite regulation. It can increase the feeling of hunger, but paradoxically it interferes with the body's ability to use food efficiently. This creates a cycle of eating more than necessary, without the body being able to use that food to actually nourish the cells and energize the organism. This often results in unhealthy food choices and excessive caloric intake, which further aggravates the problem of weight gain. Constant tiredness is also one of the most common complaints among those who drink alcohol regularly. This is partly due to the fact that alcohol directly affects sleep quality. Although alcohol may initially induce sleep, it impairs the natural cycles of deep rest, leaving the body unable to perform the necessary repair during the night. The resulting shallow sleep makes people feel tired even after a whole night of rest. In addition, alcohol affects the levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which can be elevated in those who drink alcohol frequently, contributing to a feeling of constant exhaustion. The impact of alcohol is not only physical. It also affects mental and emotional health. As the body is engaged in dealing with the toxin of alcohol, other biological and neurological processes end up being impaired. This can affect the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are directly linked to mood and well-being. As a result, those who drink alcohol frequently may experience mood swings, anxiety, and even depressive symptoms, all of which are aggravated by nutritional deficiencies caused by overconsumption. Reducing or eliminating alcohol can have significant health benefits, not only in terms of weight loss but also in improving overall well-being. The body, by no longer needing to prioritize alcohol elimination, can focus on recovery and balance of essential functions. This allows nutrient metabolism to be more efficient, vitamin deficiencies are corrected, and overall energy is increased. Sleep improves, cognitive functions become sharper, and constant tiredness disappears. By eliminating alcohol from their routine, many people report a renewed sense of vitality, with better disposition and health, reflecting a true change in the body's biological balance. Therefore, when we consume alcohol, we are not just ingesting a drink, we are putting a heavy load on the body, forcing it to prioritize the elimination of this toxin instead of performing other vital functions. The impacts of this habit can be profound, resulting in nutritional deficiencies, weight gain, and a feeling of tiredness that seems to have no end. The good news is that by reducing or stopping consumption, we can begin to reverse these effects and give the body back what it needs to function healthily and efficiently. Imagine waking up every morning with a renewed energy, without the need to resort to coffee or any other trick to start the day. Visualize deep and restful nights of sleep, where rest really recharges your energies, not just a temporary escape from fatigue. The mind, clear and focused, without the fog that alcohol often leaves behind. And above all, the feeling of being in absolute control of their decisions without the influence of a substance that promises something that, in reality, never fulfills. Choosing to cut down or quit alcohol is a powerful act of self-care. It's like opening a door for a better version of yourself. Every time you choose not to give in to the urge of another drink, you are taking a step towards a fuller and more authentic life. You begin to realize that genuine joy does not come from a glass, but from being present, aware, and in tune with yourself. The energy that before seemed scarce begins to arise naturally. Without the need to deal with the ups and downs of alcohol, the body finds its rhythm. The recovery of sleep, often interrupted by nights of excessive consumption, returns the deep rest and vitality you deserve. The brain, free of the temporary depression that alcohol imposes, begins to function more clearly, improving memory, focus, and creativity. And the most rewarding thing of all, you regain control. Control over your health, your choices, and finally your happiness. When you make the decision to reduce or quit alcohol, you begin to realize how much you are leaving behind. A more conscious, healthier, and vibrant version of yourself begins to emerge. Alcohol, which for so long was seen as a form of escapism or momentary pleasure, is revealed only as an obstacle to true satisfaction and well-being. Every step taken away from alcohol is a step forward towards a more balanced, focused, and authentic life. And as you look back, you realize that true freedom was always within your grasp, not in a glass but inside of you. Path to a life with less or no alcohol may at first seem challenging. We are often so used to the idea of socializing with a drink in our hands or relaxing with a glass of wine at the end of the day that the prospect of living without it seems unthinkable. Alcohol, for so long present in our routine, becomes almost an anchor, a way to deal with stress, to celebrate, or simply to accompany others in social moments. Yet, behind all this familiarity, the benefits of taking a step forward toward a more sober life are truly transformative, not only for physical health but also for emotional and mental balance. What few people realize is that, over time, alcohol can start consuming more than just the body. It takes care of the mind, relationships, and often our self-esteem. The sense of freedom we seek in every sip becomes a disguised prison, where true mental clarity, energy, and well-being are left aside. When you choose to start this transformation process, even if it is with the simple goal of reducing consumption, you are giving your body and mind the opportunity to regenerate naturally. One of the first and most notable changes many report when reducing or eliminating alcohol from their routine is improved sleep quality. Without alcohol, the body can enter a deep rest cycle, recovering its energies more effectively. You no longer wake up in the middle of the night with the feeling of having been fooled by rest. Instead, sleep becomes restorative, bringing a sense of renewal that is hardly achieved while alcohol is still part of the equation. There is no more that feeling of tiredness when waking up, or the need for a recovery in the morning. Also, the mental clarity you experience is a transformative change. Alcohol has a direct impact on the brain, impairing our ability to concentrate, memory, and make decisions. When we stop relying on it, the mental fog disappears. You start to perceive your thoughts more clearly, becoming more productive and focused. Cognitive skills become sharper and more alert, which not only improves your performance at work, but also in relationships and how you deal with everyday situations. But the benefits don't stop there. When alcohol is no longer interfering with your metabolism, you also start to notice physical improvements. Weight gain, often caused by empty calories from alcohol, begins to be reversed. Your diet becomes more effective and you feel lighter both physically and mentally. This reflects in your daily energy, which becomes more constant without the peaks and falls associated with alcohol consumption. Stress levels decrease, you feel more balanced and able to face challenges with a calmer and clearer perspective. In the emotional field, change is equally powerful. By giving up alcohol, you begin to rediscover your true essence. Excessive consumption is often a way to escape emotions, internal discomfort, or accumulated stress. When you no longer have this temporary relief, you start working more directly with your feelings. This leads to a deep self-knowledge, where you learn to better deal with your emotions and seek healthier solutions to life's difficulties. Relationships also change as you become more present, more attentive, and more connected with those around you. Choosing to reduce or quit alcohol is not just about eliminating a substance, it's about taking an important step towards self-care and self-realization. There is no magic formula, and the process can be challenging. There may be times when temptation is present, or when you feel that life without alcohol seems less fun and exciting. However, along the way you will find that true fun and true freedom come from living with clarity, health, and the ability to make decisions that really promote your well-being. Taking the first step today, whether it is reducing the amount of alcohol consumed or seeking a completely sober life, is a gesture of self-love. It doesn't matter where you start, the important thing is to get started. Your mind, body, and soul will thank you as you experience a transformation that, although difficult at first, is deeply liberating. The rewards of this change are not temporary but lasting, reflecting on a stronger, healthier, and happier version of yourself. What once seemed a sacrifice is revealed as a true gift to you, a gift that continues to be given day after day. Have you ever thought about the impact of alcohol on your life? Leave your comment and share your experience. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. Let's build a healthier and more conscious life together.